Welcome to Tech Talk with AFO. On Tech Talk with AFO, we have every conversation around technology, end to end, from project management to raising capital. We just enjoy our time having conversation around technology. But we are going a different direction. A different direction in the sense that how can you talk about technology without really putting a beam light on tech actors, those that are responsible for all the technology you see? And we are primarily interested in how can we drive development in Nigeria from technology standpoint. Last week, we were having conversation on what niche Nigeria can identify and also have our seat on the table of technology globally. And that's why we believe it's important to engage people like my friend Tab to pick their brain, understand where they are coming from, and see how we can make a difference. Today's conversation is going to be about Tab, celebrating Tab and what Tab has achieved. But to set the tone for today's conversation, Taopheek, before you say anything at all, I have something I want to share. Debola, can you share that very quick surprise that we have for Taopheek? It's something I had to put together very quickly because of this, my special friend, a tech actor par excellence. Debola, what was that status you gave all tech actors, people like Taopheek again?
What was that, sir?
Tech emeritus. I was looking for that word. Tech emeritus.
Tech emeritus.
Tech emeritus.
It's for the 0.1% amongst the 1%.
Amongst the 1%. So, Ife, can you share that very quickly?
A tech actor worthy of celebration, Taopheek Babayeju, affectionately known as Tab, is a distinguished entrepreneur and one of the most sought-after experts in the project management space in Africa. As a seasoned transformation expert, dynamic leadpreneur, and thought leader in the technology and business sectors, Taopheek embodies the principles of thriving, achieving, and bequeathing a mantra that highlights his commitment to not just personal success, but also to leaving a lasting legacy through his contributions to society.
Great nations are built by great leaders, but the prosperity of such nations we know is built by great entrepreneurs. United States is a wonderful example of how a great nation should be, but you wouldn't take away the fact that there are great entrepreneurs like the Rockefellers of this world, the Vanderbilt, the JP Morgan, and the rest of them who have, charted the course for prosperity of US. And their entrepreneurial exploits have remained, have transcended over generations. For a continent that has about 70% youthful population, we know that Africa has abundance of human resources. So Africans need to get to work. And we must understand the fact that for Africa to work, we as entrepreneurs need to get to work. We need to create those jobs. It's not the responsibility of government to create the jobs. It is our responsibility to create the jobs while the government creates the enabling environment for us.
With an expansive career spanning over 2 decades, Taopheek has spearheaded high-impact transformation projects and managed multi-million-dollar portfolios across diverse fields such as IT, telecoms, finance, agriculture, health, education, and government. Under his leadership, iCentra, the business and technology solutions firm he founded, has grown into an international player with offices in Texas, London, and Abuja, serving a global clientele and achieving remarkable business transformations. Educationally, Taopheek is well-grounded with an MBA from Lagos Business School and executive courses from Harvard and IESE Business Schools, further enriching his strategic and operational capabilities. His academic foundation in physics from Lagos State University and training in telecoms networks infrastructure at the United Kingdom Telecommunications Academy has equipped him with a robust technical and analytical mindset.
Until we align town with the gown, we're not going to move forward. That is one. Then there's a misalignment between our expectation from government and the policies of government. And I'll give you two case studies. I started my youth corps in 2000 at MTEL, NITEL. And when GSM license was going to be given, there was no reason on earth why GSM license should have been given to NITEL instead of MTEL. MTEL was already a mobile operator. By now, we shouldn't have been talking about co-location. NITEL should have been given that responsibility to do all the co-location, provide infrastructure for the whole nation. But that never happened because of what? Political interest. That license was given to NITEL, and it killed MTEL. Till tomorrow, MTEL never recovered.
Beyond business, Taopheek's influence is profound. He is a published author, a contributor to Forbes magazine, and a regular columnist at Business Day newspaper, sharing insights that drive industry standard and innovation. His strategic vision is driving business and societal advancement is reflected in his board membership at forward-thinking organizations like Tafsan, Spark Bridges, and White Finite. His commitment to community and leadership development shines through in his co-founding of initiatives such as Leadpreneur and FIC Foundation, which focus on nurturing entrepreneurial and leadership qualities in individuals and communities. Perhaps one of his most notable contributions to the project management field is the establishment of Nigeria's first ever National Project Management Conference, PROMACON, which is significantly contributed to institutionalizing project management practices across Nigeria and Africa. Taopheek Babayeju is not just a tech innovator, but a transformative leader who continues to inspire and influence with his visionary approach to technology, leadership, and societal development. Join us in celebrating his ongoing journey and impactful achievements as a tech actor worthy of recognition. Taopheek Babayeju, tap.
Tap, 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 tap. A round of applause for Tap. A round of applause for Tap.
Thank you so very much for this honor.
Yeah, Taopheek, now you understand why the session cannot start without that. It's important to use that video to set tone for our conversation today. Your quick reaction, sir. Let's start with that.
Well, I'm just humbled and honored to have been so profound and recognized by you. Sometimes I lose track of these things. Putting them together just made me feel like, okay, so who is he talking about? But it's just the beginning. I think we have a lot to do. Like I said, great nations are built by people, not by governments. I'm mostly entrepreneurs, so we just need to find that nexus of how individual actors, whether in tech and other communities, can do their own beats and also help the society to thrive. But it requires a lot of building, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, thank you for that quick one. It was deliberate because I know you don't like listening to yourself. So I said there's no way this conversation can be interesting without Taopheek compulsorily listening to himself like the way he doesn't like it. So Demola, I want you to quickly react to what you've heard about Taopheek, and use that as your opening remark as well before I call on Ife. So the essence of having these interesting young men on this session, right, is because I want them to learn from you. Now, learning from you and asking questions from you by extension is also to have people of like minds in their age bracket to also pick your brains, okay? Because we are putting this together like we normally do as content on our YouTube channel to motivate youth and let them see that no matter how difficult things might appear, you can still make things happen. Demola, throw the first shot.
Okay, all right. So I'll say quite inspiring. Like you said, I know it's sometimes quite surreal for you to hear how much you're doing and to see how much impact you're making. I'll say first off, quite inspiring. Also, I like the fact that there's one of your mantras from what you just mentioned is that great nations are built by people and not by government, which kind of states that we have to take responsibility and take the bull by the horn. I think that we are a nation of young people, and I think that most of us usually always tilt to the side of trying to make excuses and trying to look for what they can do for us. As one of the great echelons of politics always said, John F. Kennedy, I think when he said that don't look for what your nation can do for you, but look at what you can do for your nation. I'll say that we are very proud of what you have been able to achieve, and I'll say you're quite an inspiration, a thought leader, a role model, a mentor, and somebody, a beacon of hope and light to us as young people. More grace to your elbow. I'm looking for the amazing projects you manage and see how they ultimately impact the future of our country, young people, for the betterment of our world in general.
Thank you, Ademola. I sincerely appreciate your kindness.
Yeah, your buddy Ife would go next. Ife, you have the floor.
AFO, thank you very much for letting me meet this wonderful man, Mr. Taopheek. I think we met last year, and I read a bit of I read on the things you are currently doing and those things you've done in the past, and it has really inspired me because when I look at your journey, like the 24 years in, and even I saw in one of your articles where you actually mentioned working as you fix phones, and I tried to relate it to my own personal story also, and I just hope I have some questions laid out for you, and I think Demola has said it all. I can't continue to heap those praises on you, but I know you are truly wonderful, and it's been a pleasure to be with you here once again.
Thank you very much for the kind words.
Yeah, Taopheek, unlike Demola and Ife, I'm bringing you on this session to fight you actually. It's going to be a combination of both, but I'm going to start with a fight, right?
Okay, bring it on.
Because to an extent, I'm not happy with people like you, and I'll tell you why, right?
Yes,
so
please.
look at where Taopheek is coming from. Look at Taopheek's background. Taopheek, why are you not in politics? Why are you not part of nation building? It's very easy for us to complain about Nigerians' problem, but this problem we all talk about, technically, you are also part of the problem if you are not folding your sleeves, they'll say the way you folded them to repair phones, to run iCentra. Why are you not in politics? That's my own first ask. That's my fight.
Good question, Afo. There are two things, right? There's nation building and there is politics. There are professional politicians and there are nation builders. So to an extent, I'll say I'm not playing politics, but I've been involved in nation building. I spent the last 24 years of my life in Abuja, the federal capital. I've supported political actors behind the scenes. I've advised, I've played roles on presidential committees, for example, Presidential Committee on Innovation, chaired by Professor Shimbajo when we had the MOD and all of those. Those were part of my involvement in nation building. Some people, like I said in one of the clips you played, the Rockefellers of this world, the Vanderbilts, they didn't have to be politicians, right? But I can support a politician. I can even pick up a membership of a political party, act in advisory capacity. But not every one of us is going to carry, I beg, vote for me. Do you understand? So I'm actively involved in nation building. At some point, maybe I'll join a political party, but not as an average politician who wants to make ends meet from politics. So I want to be satisfied with what I'm doing. Okay, but I don't want to do politics for politics' sake. I hope you understand.
No, I don't. I'll still come back to that question, particularly because you're a resistant
Okay, hold
person.
on.
No.
Hold on. Tell Mr. President to appoint me now and see
No, I
what
don't
I'll
want.
do.
No, I'll call Asurok. I'll call Asurok. I'll put a call through to Asurok. But on a serious note now, I'm really interested in your background, right? It's very looking at what you've achieved, Lagos Business School. I mean, you can attend Lagos Business School if you are not a multi-millionaire like, Silver Spoon. You're probably from one of those old Ikoyi board members. Like, I mean, let's have a sense of your background. Where is Taopheek coming from? Who is Taopheek, right? Where did it all start?
For me, I think my early inspiration is from my dad. I say that for free because I grew up in an environment where there were phones around me, cables, RJ45, tools to work with. And, I just have to figure it out. So at some point, when things are sports, maybe I think I contributed to even spoiling more than repairing. But when things are sports, I just need to go and, take that toolbox, open it up, try to fix something because naturally, that is what I found in my environment. Okay. So for me, I was really inspired by, getting my hands dirty, fixing stuff. Like I said, this dated back before GSM and it was, PABX, at some point in this country, we had just less than 500,000 lines globally. And when you go to that phone directory, I can from my house, call the house of MK Wabiola and somebody will pick up the phone and say, that's how that is how telecoms was in those days. So I grew up following them to the sites to go and do installation at UBA, First Bank, and all of these, first generation banks. And so naturally, when I finished my secondary school, I couldn't stay at home because I was so restless. So I had to go and do some holiday job at National Oil. Interestingly, at the ICT section or IT department, where I continued to fine-tune my skills, and I got in contact with computer, COBOL programming in those days. I just was just trying my hands on things, and it was very natural for me to want to tilt towards engineering, but eventually I settled for physics. And when I said at MTEL, it was just natural for me also to do jobs to do things that people were not doing, which was fixing cellular phone problems. Even though there were guys paid to fix the problem at customer service, they couldn't figure it out. All I had to do was just to read manuals and ask questions, figure things out. And before you knew it, everybody was asking for, who is that guy? Who is that Taopheek? I was just a copper. And before I finished my NYC, I'm talking about 2001, I had saved up to about 500,000 naira. Today that could be like, yes,
2001, you have 500,000 naira in savings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey.
I could buy a V-boot. I could rent myself a flat in Wuse too.
Wow.
Yeah, I had that much money. But for me, it was more about, okay, so I needed to build a career. So flaunting that I had money with me or in my bank account wasn't anything of. So I was practically looking for the job, even though I'd lost out on the opportunity to join the Econet and the MTN of this world while I was still serving. And these guys were looking for people from any of the telecoms background. But I was, still very loyal to my organization, MTEL then, hoping that my recommendation for employment will be honored by the new owners of our license, which was Nitel. But after waiting for a while and that didn't happen, I had to join Son Ericsson, where I was the head of service center. From the service center, I worked for Sagen on the National ID card project. From there, at a point, I just felt, what, it's time to start up something. I had ideas in my head. I wanted to have the most sophisticated service center in the whole of Abuja. Having worked with Son Ericsson, and I saw that standard. So I teamed up with a friend. And, I was doing the technical beats, he was doing the sales beats. And within 1 year, our business went down. Not because of not because of anything, but how do I put it now? What's the word to use now? Poor management of resources, on the other side. So hey, I started all over again. I started phone clinic, started IC Tech. Within 1 or 2 years, I'd saved enough money, maybe about £4,000, which was equivalent of 1 million naira, to go and train at the UK Telecoms Academy. And like they said, the rest is history. I got back to Nigeria. Intel called me back and worked for Intel for a bit. I was, the network. I was in charge of project delivery of the network rollout and all of that. That was where I discovered project management. And being a tech person, and I have the tool for delivering projects, for me, that was a kill. And Promocon came. After Promocon, I thought the need to move from the art side of technology to the soft side of technology. So we started the management and technology company called iCentra. So a fuse of management and technology. So today, the practice has grown from just management and technology to 4 business areas, where we have technology solutions like information security, cyber security, digital transformation. Then the other wing, which is the project management, we do all the gamut of PM, business consulting, risk management, and all the consulting, management, whatever, then learning and development. That's all the story.
All your thoughts on that bit, okay? While Demola is preparing his first question for you. But something I would like you to react to very quickly, if you can, is what you presented now. Taopheek, you actually make it sound like, it's so straightforward and simple. You're growing up in the 80s, and now in 2000, all that journey from the 80s, from where you stopped, which is late 2000, you make it sound everything just happened automatic, right? You had 24 hours electricity, the road was good, government gave you all the support you needed. Before you finished from school, there was a job waiting for you, and there's this thought process, particularly for people of Ife's age bracket, that government is not doing anything for them the way they did for us in the 80s and 90s.
Is that a question?
Yes, I want you to react to that, confirming that yes, everything was auto-run for you. The job was waiting, the opportunity was waiting. Before you graduated, MTEL was waiting for you. You had everything you needed, 24 hours electricity, third road. You were paid salary.
Okay, so I know that is more of a sarcastic question, because
that's the way
nobody ever had.
That's the way you make it sound now. Demola is confused.
You told me,
why is government so unfair?
You told me to give you a quick rundown of how it started, right? I just glossed over it, right? But there has never been lights, okay? I remember at some point when I was running phone clinic, I had to carry my desktop and go and sit at a photo studio. Sometimes I had to carry my desktop again, go to a cyber cafe because I didn't have internet on my desk to download software overnight. So all of these challenges were there. Okay, power has always been a challenge. Internet penetration there was no internet. Okay, we were doing dial-up, as you call it. But again, for me, I don't focus on the challenges, right? Because the challenges, we're meant to make the most out of the challenges. If your parents, my parents told you what they went through, these guys are having it also good right now, because like I said, if I finished 2001 and I had, if I chose 2001 that I finished, I had 500K in my account. I had internet, I had Google, I had Facebook, I could do business. But as at then, you just needed to get a physical office before anybody could take you serious. Okay, so the challenge startup was different. Now everything is easy. You don't even need a physical address to get anything done. You can, provide service. Ife Demola can provide service to anybody around the world. We didn't have that luxury. Okay, all the trainings that they take now online, I had to travel to every of my training. I had to travel to UK, travel to Harvard. I had to travel to UAE. I went to UK about 4 times for training. Do you understand? With my own pocket, I had to take care of flights. Do you understand? Pay for hotels because I wanted IT training, I wanted Prince 2 training, I wanted UKTA training, and all of those things. So it came with its own challenges. But did we make the best out of it? Yes, because that is the grit of an entrepreneur.
Demola?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So far, it's been quite insightful. Learning about what your life's journey has been, and quite inspiring as well. My first question will be focused on technology, basically about innovation in tech. What emerging technologies do you believe are pivotal to the future of project management and business operations? I'll take that again. As regards innovation in tech, what emerging technologies do you believe are pivotal for the future of project management and business operations? Being that we now live in the tech age and digital age, technology is practically an enabler and a driver of everything. So just would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives as a project management guru and emeritus that you are.
Okay, so thank you very much, Demola. So when people talk about project management, and they try to box me into project management, what I do is, technology and business solutions. Project management is just one of the tools which I use or had also contributed to its evolution in Nigeria. But again, let's not narrow it down to project management. You said project management and business operations, right? What's emerging tools? I'll lean towards generative AI. Generative AI is actually, disrupting a whole lot of stuff around project management, business operations, and we're reimagining, how business is going to be in the next, few years. I think PMI responded to this when they created their own, AI tool for project managers, because hey, if we're not careful about it, AI is not going to take up your job, but your job is going to be is going to be taken by somebody that knows how to use AI. Okay, so the mundane things like taking minutes in project meetings, which a project coordinator or a project manager will still be doing, is done by AI bots, right? And it sends minutes to everybody more accurately, right? A lot of templates that you'll be looking for your products, your project charter or your product initiation document or product PRD, product requirement document or whatever, whether you're doing project management or product management, all of those things are available. You just need to tell the generative AI, to provide you with this. But again, you still need the knowledge to guide the AI tool through what exactly is in your mind. So for me, I think generative AI is transforming how we do business. It's transforming our operations, our business operations, and it's gonna do more. The judicious use of it will separate the boys from the men.
Okay, thank you.
A quick follow-up, Demola, if you have one.
Okay, so like you've rightly said, sir, like I mentioned, technology is an enabler, and these days becoming even the primary driver in most cases. In addition to generative AI, I also believe that 3 other key technologies will be at the forefront. One is blockchain. There are basically a number of use cases, around the blockchain technology. Another is cloud-based project management softwares. Amazon AWS is the leading cloud leader right now, followed by Azure, Microsoft, and Google Cloud is also following closely behind. Cloud is going to be very, very important. And I think last but not least is Internet of Things. Basically, how can IoT devices collect data in real time and track project progress, resource utilization, and all whatnot. So in addition to generative AI, I strongly believe that blockchain technology, the cloud, and Internet of Things are the very pivotal technologies that would drive progress and efficiency, amongst other things in this field.
Absolutely, Demola, spot on. Before now, I think most of us have used the cloud-based solutions, to manage project operations. If you use Google Sheets, if you've used any of the Google products, you've actually been using, the cloud for as long as you can. Go to meetings, even, what do you call it now? Dropbox. We've been collaborating with Dropbox for close to, almost 15, 20 years now. And there are a lot of tools that we've used on online, cloud-based, that have transformed how projects are being managed. But I think without any equivocation, generative AI will do most, disruption to the future of business operations.
Yes, for some reason, Taopheek, if there's anything that has actually been a worry for me is how people can misuse AI. How AI, as good as it sounds, as good as it is, could also be a major nightmare for the world the way we know it, right? In your own opinion, from regulation standpoint, like every other technology, should AI, be regulated? And if it should, do you think it's not becoming too late for government as it currently stands?
Well, thank you very much, AFO. 100% AI should be regulated. If not, we're going to have chaos. All right. I can sit in here, listen to this interview, just take 5 seconds of your voice and create my own version of this interview, distort it. Just like any other technology, there should be, a way to decipher what is AI generation, product or version of everything, and that which is original. Government coming late to the party, yes, you can say that. But again, we've seen Nigeria trying to create their own AI policy. Okay, they are having a workshop in Abuja as we speak. In US and UK, we've seen both steps. Haven't seen the future of what AI can do. And, your friend Elon Musk has been, crying and, warning all of us that AI will do more damage, if not tamed. So whether we like it or not, AI is a very, very, disruptive technology that, if not properly managed, will change, or it has actually changed the world the way we see it, but it would disrupt the world and disorganize and cause more chaos, more than we know it right now.
Okay, all right. Again, we want today's conversation to be about you. Ife, I want you to warm up on some of those questions that you have for Taopheek. But very quickly, there's something I want Taopheek to speak to about his background, right? Particularly the formative challenges, right? Obviously, every entrepreneur has been faced with one very challenging situation in starting your business, in your career. Now, I want you to share with us one significant challenge that you faced, that you believe that is worthy of sharing with our audience, who are primarily Nigerian youths.
One major challenge, of course, this is very common to everybody.
And of course, how you overcome would also be very important with it.
Okay, so let me tell you something, right? For free, I never had money starting up any business. I never had capital. So by the time I was done from my youth service, I'd given what is unto Caesar, giving on what is unto the Lord, I had to start, life slowly. And for every of my business, so my first business failed. So I had to start from scratch. And that's, showed me why skill is more important than money. Because all I had the next morning was a table and a chair, a toolkit, and I think what else? I didn't have the laptop. I didn't have a desktop. I had just 10,000 naira in my account. And I had to go and look for somebody to borrow me money. So apparently my elder sister, maybe about 20,000 naira to go and couple. I went to couple a system by myself. Okay, so that has been my story. When I wanted to start Promacon, I had to use phone clicks money to start Promacon. Okay. When I wanted to start iCentra, there has never been finance, right? And I never had to go to any bank to say, hey, borrow me this amount of money. But again, knowing what you carry in terms of value and being able to trade it, for what you're looking for has been, I think has been the strength. But again, what challenges are we facing in Nigeria? Inconsistent government policy, the environment not being conducive for business. However, that also is our strength. Okay, so I see in every of the challenges, strength that are being built, the resilience of an average Nigerian. That is why we're different. Anywhere we go to, people just notice that there's something different about this guy, the way we're aggressive because we're used to chasing bosses, where our voice is loud because we always project our voice above the generator. So there's just something different about us where, we're very impatient because, because of time, you're always, you just want to get everything all together because you don't know when NEPA is going to bring the lights. So the average Nigerian's challenge is also his own strength. And that is why it seems like we can also almost make anything out of nothing, in Nigeria. So there has been challenges, failed businesses, failed relationships, unskilled workforce, and all of these things. But for me, I just focus on what can we make out of this mess. Because if we keep on talking about the problem, for me, it is a factor of production. Okay, whatever we're talking about is also common in India, which is like 1 billion people. And we share the same demography with India, even though we're not up to 1 billion people. But the same poverty that is in India is in Nigeria. Okay, the same strength, the ability. So we just need to turn every of these challenges to strength. That's it for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I think what sums it up or summarizes what you've explained is no matter what the challenge is, the Nigeria in you is what makes a difference, right? As a Nigerian, you have the energy, you have all it takes to surmount whatever challenge you find or situation you find yourself. Ife, now you have the floor. Fire Taopheek.
Thank you very much. Yes, so I actually scanned through one of your book. It is actually on your website, The Secret of Winning in Life. And you made a statement. You said it is so easy to get lost in the world. It is even easier to lose yourself to the dictates or expectation of others. But if you are to live a fulfilled life, the authentic you needs to be unlocked. So, could you share the personal experiences or the realizations that led you to recognize the importance of actually staying true to yourself amidst the pressures and expectations of the society? Because we've actually had a lot of people, take for example, our own realities now, that is people in my age brackets. We've actually seen a lot of people go into things they are not meant to go into, and they've been successful in it. And what people keep saying to us is baby steps. You have to just take baby steps and focus on what you are doing. And we see some other people that will just, they don't take those steps. they just do some other things and they just make. So I would like to, like, how do you believe, like individuals, we can begin the process of unlocking our authentic selves, particularly when at this age where TikTok and people are not really true to themselves anymore. I think people are moving like through the trends. I was even when I actually saw the amount people are actually making on TikTok, like, and most of the videos they actually make, like, they are kind of uh, negative. I don't want to call it negative, but they are kind of uh, they are not authentic, right? You just have to like make a controversial video and you just get. And I was actually pushed to a stage where I actually want to start doing something like that, but I just had to like keep myself in check and like look forward to the better days. So what advice can you give like people like us?
Okay, so if you have so much packed in
In one.
one
Yeah,
in one,
actually I
so
just want to
I'm struggling to pick. Okay, so which one should I So if I whatever will stand the test of time, we'll go through the funnies. What I'll say to you or to any young man out there, unlike where we're coming from, there's a lot of distraction right now, and there's a lot of fake leads to making it and all of that. But the people that actually make the real money. So when you're checking the Forbes list, I'm sure Dangote is on TikTok, right? Femi Otedola is on TikTok. Yeah, you may be saying there are not people in your generation. So I'm not saying it's bad to be a TikTok influencer, but how many percentage of the world's population or the youthful population are going to be going to be millionaires on TikTok? These are wealth or a business that you just need to be there. There's a percentage, very minute percentage of people that will make it through, that's that process. And the world is actually looking for that which is authentic in you. I'm sure you corroborate me on this. If Afrobeat hadn't been authentic, I'm sure there wouldn't be anything, to celebrate about it. And people won't be making as much as they are making impacts as they are making in the world of music. If Nollywood hadn't been authentic, it wouldn't also have made as much impact as it's making right now. So again, as individuals, it is difficult. That's that journey to authenticity in a world where everybody wants to be a certain way. When everybody has gone this way and there's a minute population of you also that have decided to stand out in what you're doing, it takes a test of time. It takes going through the funnels, but at the end of the day, it is built to last. So for me, the moment I found myself was to ask myself, what is it that I am built for? Because for me, if 10 people play Lotto here and win, if I'm the 11th person, I won't win. Nothing has come on my table on a platter of gold. It has never happened. Everything I've had to struggle for. And I know that, okay, my own personality, I'm a builder. So I know what works for me. Some people would profit off what other people have built. Okay, but for me, my authentic self is I am built to build. So I'm building something which is more of a legacy, and it's taking me a longer time to get there. But I've known people that have made money, okay, in the last 15, 20 years of my own career, even in this Abuja, that I can't find them anymore. Okay, where in the US now, we can easily come here to Nigeria and do business, and it's like we never left because we have built an authentic brand, and it takes a process. Anything that is going to be good will take a process. So you need to stay true to yourself. What you're doing right now is, or whatever anybody is doing right now, is a process. As a matter of fact, even those guys that we think are making it big on social media, there was a time when all they had was 1 like, 2 likes, and no repost or whatever, but they stayed true to it for months, years, and before anybody started understanding, okay, this person is making an impression. So the 2 things I'm going to tell you is discipline and consistency. Anything that you cannot be consistent about, that you cannot be disciplined about, is not worth doing. But these 2 things are the most important ingredients for success. Whether you're doing, this way or that other way. Even being a criminal, it takes consistency and discipline to be a Pablo Escobar.
To be a better criminal. Demola,
Yes.
do you have a follow-up either to Taopheek's reaction or on what Ife asked that you want Taopheek to react to?
Yes, I do. I think I giggled when you mentioned that the guys on Forbes list. I mean, I'll say I'm an added student of Forbes. I try to keep tabs on what's happening, the latest trends and all of that. And I think you're very spot on when you mentioned that the difference between riches and wealth. I think that to get to that realm of wealth, most of the time, of course, there are outliers, but most of the time, there are people that have built systems and platforms to enable these TikTokers and YouTubers make a lot of money. For context, when I think Google acquired YouTube for less than $2 billion or thereabout. And I think I read some interesting fact that YouTube makes, I think, an average of $2 billion a week right now for Google. So it's just interesting to know that even the founder of TikTok, I think, is what billions and billions of dollars, right? He has created a platform already, and of course, he's able to provide monetization to these guys on the platform. He's giving them a fraction of what they already make on the platform. Mark Zuckerberg was the biggest earner last year. I think he made over $100 billion in his value net worth positivity, right? And he's the founder of, Meta with AI and all of that, right? WhatsApp, Instagram. So I don't think it's any influencer. And I mean, that's what money has been Zuckerberg last year, even on his platform. Just to buttress your point, it's just as much as possible. Yes, you can make some money, which is good. I'm an ardent fan of football, for example, and I always rave about how much these soccer players earn, or £1 million a week, or £500,000 a week. But by the time you see the net worth, I'm a Manchester United fan, right? Man United net worth is about £3 billion, right? And the highest paid player, I think, is Marcus Rashford, earning about £300,000 a week. That sounds like a lot, but I mean, if Man United sells 25% of its stake, £3 billion, I think that's about over $500 million, right? So the point I'm just trying to make is that the owner of the platform is always going to make multiples and multiples than even the creators of the platform. I think to make it even worse, I think they're owners of platforms, they're creators, and they're consumers. I think that most of the time, most people consuming social media don't realize that they are the product. So they're actually even at the bottom of that pyramid. You are basically working for both the creators and the owners. And usually times there have been complaints, by I think Instagram influencers and YouTube influencers about how the algorithm works. And it just makes you realize that they are still at the mercy of the owners of this platform, right? Tomorrow, Instagram can say, you know what, we don't believe in XYZ, let's shut down your account and all of that. So I think in a nutshell, I think it's just important to realize that for you to build wealth, sustainable wealth, you have to build and you have to create platforms and systems that can scale over time. Leveraging on some of this platform is good, but building your own platform and making other people leverage on it is even better. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Just to add to connect Demola's thought and where Taopheek is also coming from, and maybe that will put more clarification to Ife, on what you asked, right? Now let's use Tunde Onokoya as an example, right? If you look at him, it's very easy to see Tunde Onokoya as another individual creating content, or also an influencer on social media, right? But what makes Tunde who Tunde is today is not going to be attributed to the platform. It's a reflection of Tunde's ability, consistency on his ability, getting the best out of himself as a chess player. Now, what Tunde has successfully done is to combine different tools of operation. And that's the point Taopheek is making, and that's exactly what Demola has just said, right? So it's not for you to wake up today and say, I want to be a TikTok influencer. On what basis? On what? On what substance? That substance is what will distinguish you from your peers. So, and that's where everything starts with. There will be emphasis on what exactly is driving you. Why you, what impact are you trying to make? You know, I don't know if that also helps to an extent, Ife. So,
yeah, thank you very much.
I'll bring it back to Taopheek. Taopheek still hasn't shared, you know, some of those things I really wanted Taopheek to share. I mean, you can't wake up a day and find yourself in UK or find yourself in US. Taopheek, you go to US back and forth like Biden is now your contemporary. So there's this misconception, like people believe that for you to set up for you to find yourself in UK, find yourself in US or any part of the world, there are some things that you have to do, right? In fact, I think some men of God would even tell you that, you know, use go the bad way first, then when you've achieved, you can come back to God to cleanse whatever you've achieved. So my question, Taopheek, is as a youth or as an individual, I mean, is it true that you have to go shady before you clean things up? Is that the case for you? Like, I mean, you talked about 500,000 that you had overnight. This one that you had, every time you were emphasizing how much money you have. Was it that at some point in your life you were shady, then you now became CEO of iCentra overnight? And
so let's unpack issues and put things in the right perspective. There is no compromise for integrity. Okay, there will never be compromise or an alternative for it today, tomorrow, and the next. All right. When I was making reference to how much I've had saved in my youth core days, it was not that I made money overnight. It was from solving people's problem, and it was from that perspective. Now, you don't have to look for money, right? You don't have to be overly, excessively looking for money. When you create value, you don't even know where the money is going to be coming from because you are solving people's problem. And even on the day of passing out parade, I was dressing up to go for my passing out parade. A certain big man in the society called me that I've served in the past and said, oh, we just got this allocation of all of these lines, which was Motorola Microtac, those big ones. I want to turn all of them to startup, which was the smaller, fancy ones. Before I could go for my personal parade, that was the business I was doing because people were calling me. They wanted solution. Okay. So if you position yourself, just like Ademola have said, you need to create platforms. You need to create value. And money is a function of how much value you have created. I don't believe that anybody should go the shady way. Yeah, the guys that are doing the bad business, also, they call themselves businessmen. Okay, the drug traffickers, they are businessmen. Okay, but that is their own that's their own path. But for anybody that wants to attain anything, they want to build anything to build anything to last, it must be built on integrity. And there is no compromise when it comes to integrity. If you come to my organization, anybody will tell you we don't do business this way. You offer us some businesses, we walk away from it because it negates our principles and our values. There is value and there is values. Okay, value is what you create to exchange for money. Values is what you cannot compromise. That is what your organization your individual self is built upon. So for me, you don't have to go this way to come back this way. If you're on this side, you're on this side. If you're on this side, you're on this side. You cannot, just like a typical politician coming from the other side to come and wash his money here or to have credibility here. At the end of the day, we will know. And that is why EFCC is chasing some guys right now, okay? So we don't have to name names. All right.
Yeah, well, Demola is also a fan of not naming names. Left to me, I want to, call out anything I can call out. But Demola is always holding me that, okay, Afo, you don't have to mention names. So talking about not mentioning names, right? So, remember when I started, I was trying to share Taopheek's background and how Taopheek would go out of his way to, support people. He has a foundation in his name. He's part of different initiatives that Taopheek supports, right? Now, what makes Taopheek today is simply because over time, Taopheek has been a man of integrity, always, particular about his name and the difference he's making. So consistency, putting the consistency together over time can open doors. There's a difference between wealth and to also be liquid. People like Taopheek with their body of work can knock on different doors, and the doors get opened by their personality, not by the money they have in their bank account. I thought I should just drop that quickly. Ife, your next question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Afo. I have like so many questions to ask. So I would like to ask, like, your first major projects. I know, like, during those days, you like you said, you got a lot of projects, but I know there will be this particular project that will serve like as a breakthrough for you. Could you share like your the challenges you faced when executing those that particular project? Because one thing that scares me is imposter syndrome. I also have some personal things that I do, but I have this scare that if I should get like a project that is worth this particular amount, how am I going to like execute this project? Because you just fall into that that state where you just feel like I don't think I can handle this. And just like you said, like you rightly mentioned, that you've actually done a lot of projects, but I think there should be this particular one, the major one that serves as a breakthrough for you. So how were you able to navigate it, and how were you able to like implement that project?
Okay, so I'll give it two. So in the early days, my first ever project, I think was in 2008 or 2009 or thereabout. That was after 5 years of running a company. And so I first of all started iCentra. iCentra was the company, but because we needed cash flow, I set up the phone clinic by the side. All right. That is what brought in money every day. But we had this ICT company, which we weren't able to get a project until 5 years after. And the first project, I think was, if I remember very well, was about 22 million, which was, supply of computers. And that was the last time I did supply. Here you have supply of computers, and you don't have money to supply. So again, for me, I've always believed in partnerships. So I went to the guy, or myself and my brother, we went to the guy that sells, or that is a major, was it computer? Yeah, I think some computer parts or whatever. So we went to the guy, we signed partnership with him to supply, and we're going to pay him, a certain percentage, but we didn't get the money on time, and we eventually lost some money because of time value of money and all of that. For me, supplies was something that anybody could do. And I said to myself, Taopheek, I don't want to get immersed in all of this mess again. And that was when I pivoted from all the computers and all of those things to, management technology. which is more of, consulting, solving organizations' problem. And the first, I think a very major one was setting up enterprise, programs and project office for the Central Bank of Nigeria. There were 3 companies locally, 3 companies internationally, and I looked at the odds that were against us. It was just like, okay, let's just shortlist this guy because, they had come to do a presentation for us at about time when we were thinking about this project, not because anybody thought that we could win the project. By the time we looked at the odds that were against us, again, partnership, we looked for an international organization that is very vast in what we're trying to do. We signed a partnership agreement with them, and we went on a joint bid, iCentra being the lead partner, while they were a technical partner. By the time we finished our bid, we came tops, beating 3 international companies and 1 local company and that was an enterprise project that required me bringing an American to Nigeria. So for me, it was more of a cultural shock, working with, different stakeholders across the bank, up to the level of the deputy governors, the governor, and all of that. It was the first time I was handling a major transformation project within such a huge organization. So I learned a lot from that project, and it was a turning point for me. And I said to myself, if I could deliver on this project or lead this transformation through and through, including the change management, communication, risk management, and everything, I could do any other project. So for me, it was a turning point for me as a then. So, and ever since there have been projects that we can't even finish the list, to information security, to different types of capital projects, IT, consulting, learning, and what have you. So again, it's been a roller coaster and a worthwhile.
If a follow-up to a first question, right? Central Bank obviously was a government project, right?
Yeah.
Was there a situation that looks like, someone within the system making demands of you, asking for kickbacks on the project? And if there was, how did you handle a situation like that? Because if there's anything that scares people, in business these days, is the fact that, the guys on the other side, they are making demands, asking for things that you can't even, you're not even going to make as the project owner's profit, and they are making this type of demands, from you up front.
Okay, so AFO, this is why you need to choose your battles, right? Like I said to you, I don't do supplies, construction, and all of those things, which is what is the basic stuff for all the contractors. I don't do it. I do all in the intellectual space, IT, consulting, and all of those spaces, right? And I'm able to walk away from things that will compromise my value. All right. And because we've done this over a decade, and our work speaks for us, we're able to say, yes, not that those things don't come your way, but to choose what to walk away from. I know that this negates what you stand for. Will I finish a project and say thank you in terms of, buy corporate gifts and all of those things for people? It's part of our culture in Africa, right? I would do that. Okay, coming back from US, I'm always having, bags of perfumes and all of that to give to clients and all of that. That is part of the culture. But would I sit on the table and you say, hey, I'm giving you this project, give me 50%, give me 70%, you don't have to do this project, blah, blah, and we just share the money? I wouldn't do that for any amount. Do you understand? So it is where you need to now choose your battles. And again, when your work, you need to get to a place where your work needs to speak for itself, where people need to understand that, okay, if it's this organization that is doing it, there are some conversations they won't even have with you because of your professionalism.
Two more questions for you, Taopheek. Demola, yeah, your final question to Taopheek.
Okay, my final question will be around entrepreneurial growth, because you mentioned that you have a track record, and I mean we've heard a lot of things you've said. You've been in the game for upwards of 2 decades. I'm just curious to know, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are facing adversity today? What advice do you have for them? I'm an entrepreneur. I've been on it for a while. Things are not looking like they're working. What advice do you have? I have a thought on this too, but let me hear your thoughts before I share mine.
So the question is, what are you building? Okay. What are you planting? Are you planting vegetables or corn, or you're planting cocoa, all right, or palm tree? If you're planting palm tree, you know it takes time to grow. So, and you need to water it for a very long time. It takes time. Anything that is worth it, I said it earlier on, will take time. Anything that blows scatters. All right. So it depends on what you're trying to build. If you're trying to build something that will last over time, it will take you time. And I mentioned two qualities earlier on. It is consistency and discipline. Nothing is going to happen immediately overnight. Nothing happens overnight. If there's anything that happens overnight, it's witchcraft, like we put in Africa. So it takes time to build anything. And that is why sometimes when we talk about our nation as Nigeria, people want quick results, but we're not ready to build anything. Any society that you go into that is doing very well, it took them time to build it, whether it is their road infrastructure, whether it is their lighting system, whether it's their traffic system, whether it's their information security or identity management system. It took time to build. So for any entrepreneur, young entrepreneur that wants to, that is going through a lot or is coming from a lot, like you guys will say, on the street of Lagos, you need to stay steadfast. You need to be committed. You need to be consistent and disciplined. I think is the last one that people lack. That is that discipline of, staying through, irrespective, because the vision is clear to you. It is where you're going that is always in your mind. The journey is always far or short based on where you're going to. But if you have a destination in mind, if you're going to Lagos, you know it will take you minimum of 10 hours to drive to Lagos or 8 hours. So if you get to Lokoja and the journey is still far, or you get to Kaba from Abuja and you feel the journey is still far, it's based on where you're going. But if you're going to Lokoja, yeah, you give or take, you think it shouldn't take you more than 3 or 4 hours. But if you started spending 6 hours or 7 hours, then you start getting worried. So you need to be vision oriented, and you need to be committed. You need to be disciplined. You need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. That would be my advice.
Ife, the final one from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so my final question would be shifted towards the technological side of things. As you rightly said, the effect of AI on businesses now is it has either brought about their downfall, or it has either shaped them into being a better company. So I'd like to ask, what are those strategies, iCentra? What are the strategies you are currently implementing at iCentra in collaboration with most of these AI tools that are out right now? And could you share some of the digital tools that you use at iCentra to actually implement these transformation projects?
Okay. If your question is always bumper packed. So for us, we're a Microsoft partner, number one. So we have access to a lot of cloud and digital tools that we use in collaborating. But one thing that is for us that is very important is continuous learning and innovation. As a matter of fact, we have made innovation our second name, and that is why we said the meaning of iCentra innovation center of excellence. Okay, that is, we want to be the center of excellence. So I is innovation, center is iCentra is from center. So for us is continuous innovation, lifelong learning, and also collaboration with with a lot of subject matter experts in the industry, and carrying out a lot of research and development. I think that is what's the area of focus for us in navigating this very, very ever-changing landscape of
So is
technology
the
and business.
yeah. So is the advent of AI, is it currently helping your organizational growth? Because you said the advent of these tools, they are getting disruptive. Is it affecting your business positively or negatively?
So no business in the technology space, or maybe professional service, whether it is law, whether it is just name it, that is not being affected. But are you leveraging the technology? That is where we are right now, leveraging. So it's interesting that our mission is to leverage innovation and technology to transform people and organizations for excellent performance. So leveraging technology and innovation, any of those technology is a way of life for us. We need to leverage the technology. So no matter what it is, whether it is AI, whether it is blockchain, whether it is IoT, we just need to leverage it. And it is that point of leverage that is helping our business or our survival, that would shape our survival as a company. And I think would also shape our survival as entrepreneurs as well.
Yes, Taopheek, I know we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. There are so many parts of you that I would love to touch, but again, because we have very limited time, I'm sure we can have another session to even delve into more of those conversations. People want to pick your brain. They want to also be as successful as Taopheek is. But time is not on our side. Again, I want to appreciate you for what you're doing. Appreciate you for making this sacrifice on a very short-term notice. I mean, I just felt it was appropriate for someone to do justice to appreciating people like you. You are a tech actor making a difference in your own unique way. People they sometimes don't appreciate the effort that goes into building a system, right? Making a difference in your own little way. I saw the look on your face when you saw that small video I put together on you. I mean, at least your friend is doing something to appreciate his friend as well. So thank you, Taopheek, for what you're doing. On a final note, you can use that as your closing remark. What is the next move for TAB? What should we be expecting from you?
Continuous innovation. And again, we're committed to empowering as many people and organizations as we can help. Hence, my involvement with organizations like the perennial Spark Bridges. Spark Bridges is a company that is trying to use technology to empower young Africans, less privileged young Africans, and I'm actually very happy to be on the board of that company, which is a US-based company that is Africa-facing. Also, we do a lot in our own way, partnering with institutions in Nigeria, trying to foster innovation. There's something I'm coming up with now. It's called ILE, Innovation, Leadership and Entrepreneurship. So ILE is a virtual house that we're building to nurture innovation, leadership, and entrepreneurship for young Africans. So stay tuned.
All right. I told you guys that, the innovators would always be innovators. There would always be something new. They would never get tired of coming up with things that would make a difference. And that's why it is worth celebrating, appreciating people like you. Thank you guys for your time. I know we can go on and on and on. Demola, final word from you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure drawing from your well of wisdom and inspiration and experience. I think that for me, the highlight of what you said is your mantra, which is people build nations, not government. And it's important to realize that, like JFK said, I quoted earlier, don't think of what your country can do for you. Instead, think of what you can do for your country. Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to having interesting and engaging conversation with you as time goes on.
Thanks so very much, Demola. And please, let's connect after here, please. I like what you're doing. Thank you.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Enjoy the
Thank you,
rest of
Fen.
enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.